Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bearded Respect number 142.
What's up?
Everybody, happy Thursday.
And everyone, Mike may be in and out tonight because he is actually driving. to a beard competition.
Go figure.
Yeah.
We hear you, but we don't see you.
Yeah, I turned the camera off just to kind of help with the reception.
Hmm.
Well, that's
Cut down
just
on
fine.
interference.
As long as we have the sound, we're good.
Yep.
Jason, you want to
Oh.
say hi to these fine people in the chat? Welcome to the
Yep.
show.
Let me get scrolled back up to the top. Everybody's chatting already. Okay. Whiskers and Whiskers. Greetings from New Hampshire. Good to see you.
What can I say except you're welcome?
What's up, Whiskers?
Hi, Becky. Mrs. Bruce City.
Hello, Becky.
Hey, honey.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, Will. How's
How you
everything
doing, Will?
going?
What's up, Will?
Hello there.
Ken. Good to see you, Ken. Beard and
Yeah,
bald.
No way.
Ken, I'm loving that deodorant.
Oh, you got some?
Yeah,
Cool.
sure did.
Hey, Michael. Michael Rami.
What did he
What's up,
say?
Romy?
Hey, Brad. Good to see you.
What's up, Brad? I'm in Nebraska right now.
Hey, Kevin. You beat Amber again this week.
Ev?
What's up, Kevin?
Jacob. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hey, Amber.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, Jeffrey. Good to
Hi.
see you.
What's up, Jeffrey?
Dynamite.
Hello, neighbor.
Hello?
What's up, Ty?
OG Fitzroy. Good to see you. Nice video you had out.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks for the
yes,
shout out.
Yeah.
What's up, Fitz?
No way.
Hey, Randy.
How you doing, Randy?
What's up, Randy?
Black Manor Grooming. Nice to see you again.
Black Manor, what's up?
Hey, Santa Tom.
How you do?
Santa.
What did he say?
Hey, JP.
Hello.
What's up, JP?
Hey, Garrett.
How you doing, Garrett?
What's up, Garrett?
Hey, there's Mark. Hey, Mark Johnson.
What's up, Mark?
Mark.
Hello.
Hey, Tony Spray Ray. He's coming to us via potato.
What's up, Ray?
Yeah. Let's see. Michael Rami got a flu shot and a tetanus shot today, and his arm's killing him.
I can imagine.
And I'm caught up.
Ooh.
Wow,
Oh, cool.
that's quick.
I guess we just wanted to officially make an announcement. The second annual No Shave November charity event, with all proceeds going to Zero Prostate Cancer, will be held on November 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern. We thought about going earlier, but there's another stream before us, so we didn't want to do that. But we'll be working on that, and I also have Facebook charity thing set up, and a page that we can talk more about the day of the event for donations.
Awesome.
And Jeffrey says that Bearded Respect hoodie that he won is so soft and warm.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you so much.
Good.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad it's out there to someone who's enjoying it.
Yeah.
And
Hey, babysitter Jess.
anybody else have anything we got to talk about before we bring the guest on?
So
Yeah, I
you
just want to
company?
say,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm 1/11th away from my destination.
1/11th?
Yeah.
So you got 10 11ths yet to go?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And I just want to say, some of you company owners that are in the chat, if I haven't reached out to you yet, I will be for the charity auction. So, yeah, think about that. I'll be reaching out.
We appreciate
Last
any donations we get.
Last time we did the auction, I think we raised $1,400. So it'd be really cool to match that or go beyond that this year. It would be really cool. But anything that we come up with is going to help
Yes.
this organization. And we do have a guest coming up that has actually directly experienced this organization. That he'll be on the show next month.
November 14th.
Yep.
But if that's all we got, why don't we just welcome our guest?
Let's do it.
Hi, Ryan.
Ryan?
Welcome to the Bearded
Ryan.
Respect.
Thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate it. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. Is this your first live stream?
It might be. Yeah, it might be. I think it is. Yeah. So
no big worries. We're pretty easygoing.
yeah.
I don't know if Mike, you want to ask the questions? You want us to ask the questions?
Yeah, I think I can ask him. I think
Okay.
I remember him.
Okay. Oh, and we lost him.
Oh, of course.
I was just going to tell him I could be his cue card. I started to say that, and then my mic went.
Pretty
Yeah.
tricky doing a podcast while driving, so I give him kudos
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, he's done it a few times, but normally he starts the show and then leaves for it.
Does he have that Wii Boost thing for his vehicle where he can boost his signal and it might help with, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, there he is.
As soon as you played that thing, I got kicked out.
Oh,
I don't know what I did, but
No, I'm sure it was just my connection. What were you saying, Ryan?
Do you have the Wii Boost? Do you have the Wii Boost for your car? That's signal booster.
No.
Yeah, you should look into it. They storm tractors use it when they chase storms, and you can use it while you drive too.
Oh,
that's interesting.
so it's like a cell phone booster, like a.
Yep, and you don't need a subscription for it. It just boosts the signal you already have, and you can. People swear by it. Like I've read tons of reviews on it on like Reddit and everything like that. So it's supposed to be really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it, into that.
Yeah.
All right. So first question. We asked the same question to all our guests, and that is, tell us your favorite toy as a kid. What was that one toy that you always played with?
I had the I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was the Walkman that Kevin McAllister had in Home Alone 2. So he could talk into the microphone, and then he could. I don't know if you remember in Home Alone 2 where he uses it to like reserve a room. I had that exact toy growing up, and that was like my favorite toy. I had it everywhere.
Wow.
Absolutely everywhere. I was a menace with that thing. I legit thought it was Kevin McAllister.
Do you still have it?
That's definitely.
I've heard those things are worth a pretty penny nowadays.
No, I really wish my daughter loves Home Alone and Talk Boy. Everyone's called Talk Boy.
Yeah.
So my daughter watched Home Alone, and I told her I got that very same thing for Christmas when I was a kid. And she's like, "Do you still have it?" And I was like, "Well, if I still had it, I wouldn't give it to you." So I had one. I was pretty lucky.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a first.
First on our show. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a ton of toys growing up. Oh my God, but if you think of my favorite, that was definitely my favorite.
Cool. All right, so leading up to your podcast, kind of give us like a brief summary, like your background, like what before the podcast, what did you do? Like, what is your backstory?
Geez, so many different angles. So I served in the military, Wisconsin Army National Guard for 6 years. And then I was an infantryman. I served in a reconnaissance, surveillance, target acquisition unit out of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. And then I got deployed to Iraq in 2009. I was with Alpha Company 132 out of Janesville. When I was in Iraq, I did detainee operations, and then I also did some welding. I went to school for welding for 2 years before I went to Iraq, so I'm a welder by trade. I thought that was such a great career idea until not. And then, no offense to the welders out there, but I was like, nope, I ain't doing that. And when I was in Iraq, I searched myself. I searched by myself 7,000 detainees. So those were Mujahideen, Taliban, Al Qaeda type fighters, and people that were committing crimes against coalition forces. So I did that. Got home. I went to school total for 8.5 years. I earned 4 degrees on the GI Bill. I went to grad school for my master's in social work. I didn't finish. My daughter was born. And raising a kid by yourself at certain times is kind of expensive. So I was like, well, I need to get a job. So my first big boy full-time job was with the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. And my first day was actually my 30th birthday. So I did that I was helping homeless veterans with diagnosed mental illness and substance abuse issues and transition issues. I was in charge of 7 counties up here in the Fox Valley into central Wisconsin. My caseload was anywhere from 300 to 600 veterans for the 9 or 10 months I was working that. So I traveled the state pretty much every day. I did that for, like I said, 9, 10 months. And then I jumped on a job with the Pentagon for almost 3 years, helping transitioning veterans and service members. And that ended in 2020, not because of COVID, just because they ended the program. And then I worked for a nonprofit for 3.5 years. They reorganized. I lost my job, and then I actually recently I got a new job last year, and that job ended too. I lost that one too. So I'm not a horrible employee. So I don't want people to think I'm a horrible employee. But I was a consultant project manager for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So I've been helping veterans for almost 18 years, coming up in January. I've traveled the state probably 125 times. I've helped probably the number I'm comfortable saying publicly is about 10,000 veteran service members and families in 18 years. I know the number might be a little bit more, but I can prove 10,000 because I have the Excel spreadsheets of everyone that I've ever helped. Even in 2019, so when I worked for the Pentagon, I had to keep reports. And one of the reports I have for 2019, it ends at like 3,000 when I had to input people's names. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I mean, father of two. I just had my second kid 2 months ago. His name is Hayes, my son, and then I've been doing So your second form of your question was how did the podcast site form? Is in the last almost 18 years of helping vets, I realized that there is so much information out there in our community, but it's not being shared, and that's why I started the podcast. So I was like, well, I'm gonna just share all the knowledge that I have, but also all the experiences also, but I'm going to bring on my friends and anybody else that wants to come up because you remember information better when it's attached to a story. So that's why I do it that way. So I partnered up with my friends over at Mortgage Nerds. They are VA home loan mortgage brokers, not lenders. So they are independently owned. They actually make less money because they're brokers. And we go out and we educate realtors, veterans, whoever wants to learn about the VA home loan. I bought my house through them, and I have friends and family that's bought their house through them, and they are just insanely, like, they're called mortgage nerds for a reason because they're fucking nerds, right? And they are just like, you ever been around someone that's super smart and you just can't get enough of them? It's them. That's who they are. So my studio's inside their office, and next week, Tuesday, is my 5-year anniversary. So
cool.
Yeah.
Now, how you know, before when you were working and driving all the time around the state, how did you handle being a dad doing that?
It was sometimes there was nights and days where I had to, I missed opportunity with my daughter. But then her mom and I have a really good relationship, and we just swap whenever we can. And I'd FaceTime. Technology is so incredible. So FaceTiming. I also have this really cool app on my phone. It's called Touch Note, and you can send. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean to show the screen, but you can send a postcard from your phone. So you can actually select an image or a picture and type in a postcard, and you can send it, and it sends it. So I send my daughter stuff all the time. I send her letters all the time.
That's nice. Kind of cool.
Because women like to receive mail, so it's like, oh. So, yeah.
So one of the guys in our... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I was going to say, one of the guys in our chat was asking, Pentagon, so did that just fall in your lap, or how'd that happen?
Actually, it kind of did. I was sitting at my desk, and I had maybe 6 weeks left with the job with the state of Wisconsin, and sure, I found the job with the Pentagon on Indeed, of all places.
Wow.
I swear to God. And I sent my resume at I found the job at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then by 11 o'clock they interviewed me, and then by 2:00 in the afternoon, I had the job. Same day.
Wow. Wow.
True story. True story.
A government job acting that quick. That is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yep. True story. True
that's
story.
wild.
And it was
That
a
is
pay raise
wild.
too. It was a pay raise. Yeah, we love those pay raises. Yeah, that was a cool, because my actual, so it was kind of hybrid remote. So my office was actually in the Wisconsin Army National Guard Armory up here in Appleton, the 127. So I was actually inside of an infantry unit, and I deployed with most of those guys. And I come in t-shirt, jeans, whatever, walking on the grass, hands in my pocket. Sergeant majors walking everywhere. And I was just like, God, this feels so righteous right now. Like, I owe it to every single E4 just to chew gum and talk back. So, but it was fun because I got a lot of those men and women jobs, and I helped them write resumes and cover letters, and taught them how to interview and search for jobs. And it was some of the most rewarding work I've ever done. Any secrets you can tell us? Just kidding. Don't need to be gone after the stream. Oh, kind of like top secret stuff. Yeah.
I think that's what he was getting.
Top secret shit. Yeah. I don't know. It was a job. Like, my bosses, most of the big bosses were at the Pentagon, and this was a national program too. So this wasn't just in Wisconsin. So, but I took daily calls from my boss at the Pentagon, and then I helped the 128, the 127. There was a couple other units I helped with their deployment, getting ready for deployment, and then post deployment reintegration. It was cool. They did a first aid class right outside my office, and I got to join in on the first aid class. Guess who beat every single person deploying in first aid? I was like, they're like, God damn it, Farva. So it was cool though. It was cool. It was nice to be around them. And then yeah. So I think the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, that job I had previous to the Pentagon, they had this program called the Veteran Outreach and Recovery Program, and it's throughout the entire state of Wisconsin. And I highly recommend, if anybody ever needs information or they want people that are pretty familiar with resources, VORP is a very powerful program, and I think it's one of the best things we have in the state of Wisconsin. I think we're still the only state that has something like this. And my first day on the job, I had a veteran. He slit his wrists, put a bag over his head, and tried hanging himself. That was my first day on the job.
Wow.
And the job isn't for, the faint or weak-hearted. This is real shit. This is the veteran community that people don't see. So all the stuff you see in social media, all the stuff you see in the news, that is just surface level what you see. And underneath that is a world of veterans that are struggling, or the lack of resources, the lack of information, the mountains of paperwork. It's very, very interesting. What people don't know, especially veterans, what they don't know. So it's very interesting stuff. And I wish all veterans would want to learn a little bit more. So if we're all on the same line, then we all kind of know the same information, and we can help each other. But that's not the case. So
no, you can go to the VA and not know about a lot of stuff that's going on.
Yeah, and sometimes the VA is not even the best option for a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, it's 2024, and most veterans don't even know what a county veteran service officer is. So we have 72 counties in the state of Wisconsin. We have 72 county veteran service officers, but we also have 11 tribes. So we have 11 tribal veteran service officers. So that's 83 VSOs, and these are county employees. They do not work for the VA. They're county employed, state retirement. They are an amazing resource for veterans. Do they always work? No, but I would always refer people to CVSO. So very, very important.
Yeah, and I don't know that a lot of states have that
No,
as a resource.
30, 35, 36, 37 states are the only have CVSOs.
So it's a pretty good resource for the veterans who are looking for information.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What's this guy saying?
Yeah,
The government
that's
already released.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Ray asked if real question: do aliens exist? You must know that surely. And then Mark answered: the government already released info on UFOs.
There you go. There you go. What was Mike going to say? Mike was going to say something.
So, first of all, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service for the military, and then your continued service for veterans. I was in Iraq myself from 2003 2004, and when I got out of the Army, hell, I had no idea what was available for veterans. The only thing I did know what was available was the GI Bill, which I used. And later, after tons of college, I was able to work for the VA myself, and I actually worked in the homeless outreach program for a little bit. So I can kind of understand what you went through during that time. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for continuing to serve our veterans. And you already answered my next question, which was why you started the podcast. So the next question I have, Jason, I need your help because I can't remember.
Okay.
It's the one with the quotes. It's the one with the quotes on there.
What is disruptive impact?
Yes.
Yeah, disruptive impact. Man, so where do we begin with that? It's I was listening to podcasts for years, and one of my favorites was it started off as Black Hearted, and then it turned into Launchpad, and then it's the Black Rifle Coffee podcast. And I'm very close with some of those guys at Black Rifle Coffee. But I was listening to one of the podcasts, and the founder, Evan, was talking about disruptive intent. When starting a business, you have to be disruptive, but you have to have intent behind it. And I thought about that, and I was like, well, I want to be disruptive. And when I started my podcast, I want to be disruptive, but my intent is to help people. So disruptive intent, right? But then as the podcast started growing and I started getting recognition, Veteran of the Year the first Veteran of the Year of Northeastern Wisconsin, or Young Professional of the Fox Cities, or whatever you want to, whatever award there is, 40 under 40. I was like, well, there's impact going on here. People are messaging me, telling me they love it, and disruptive impact. So I just changed it around. I'm being disruptive, but there's a sense of impact. People are being impacted by it. So that's the basis behind disruptive impact. Everything I do, I want to be disruptive, but I want to make sure there's some sort of impact behind it, whether it's for veterans or my neighbor, or, well, not that neighbor. He's an asshole. That neighbor, he's cool. But that's the story behind disruptive impact.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Jason, you're going to have to take over.
Okay. Okay. Who has been your most interesting guest?
Oof. Honestly, with over 200 plus 220 230 guests,
not one stands out. Yeah,
I mean, they all stand out in their own sense.
Yeah.
Like having Brendan Schaub on the podcast, pretty famous comedian, UFC fighter, and I messaged him the night before, and he came on. That was pretty. I was like, oh my god, like
Oh wow.
this guy's on Joe Rogan all the time. You know what I mean? And we had a great
Yeah.
podcast, you know. And then he came to the 9/11 stair climb the next day, hung out with me and my family, got invited to a show, so that was cool. But then Chris Farley's older brother, Tom Farley's been on twice now.
I was wondering if that's who it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Tommy Boy's
very cool.
he's a really good friend, and we collaborate on a lot of stuff too. He loves veterans, and I just had Jessica Lynch on this year. That was big.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just did a
Yeah,
3-hour podcast with her.
I see she's been touring quite a bit lately, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I would say, to be honest with you, gentlemen, I think one of my favorite episodes is with my friend Brennan Wagner. Episode 104. Brennan was in the Air Force. He did multiple deployments overseas. He got blown up a couple times, TBIs, but his story before service is absolutely incredible. I unfortunately, Brendan passed away sometime after the podcast. He had a seizure and he hit his head and he didn't wake up, and that kind of rocked me a little bit. And his picture's hanging up in my studio, right over my shoulder. So episode 104 is pretty heavy. I mean, he was numerous overdoses. He was addicted to drugs really bad. He was raped by his family, by like one of his aunts, and babysitters, all of it. Then that was all before service. And this guy joins the military and does incredible things, and then he comes home and fights through addiction, and he finds the Lord, and he had his own little ministry, and he was crushing life and helping people, and he was the only person that texted me every single day when I had COVID. I was in the hospital twice for COVID, and he was the only person that was there. And then in 2022, I was at an archery event and I got a text saying that Brendan passed away. So it was brutal. But episode 104 is very special to me. But I will say I lost two friends in 2022. Dominic Call, he was a former Force Recon Marine, and then he got out of the Marine Corps, joined the Army, earned his Green Beret, and then he did the Green Beret stuff for a while, and then he got out, Appleton Police Department, SWAT team, sniper, counter drug, and then he passed away from pancreatic cancer. And 1 in 11 GWAT veterans are passing away or being diagnosed with cancer, and we're losing veterans of cancer a lot, really, 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 really quickly here. So his spouse, his widow, Jacole Hall, came on too. So that was a pretty emotional podcast for both of us. Episode 100 is pretty special to me too. Mr. Bill Pickrell. Scott, you might have even heard of Mr. Bill. He's down in Milwaukee. He was in the invasion of Normandy Beach and Battle of the Bulge. He was in second wave of Omaha Beach, and you don't get to meet some superheroes very often. And let me tell you something. That guy comes from a different generation, and it was funny though. It was funny because I always like to talk about recruiters and how recruiters got us on my podcasts. And the recruiter told him, he's like, yeah, you're going to be able to like travel Europe and do all this other stuff. And 1 week later, 2 weeks later, I'm on a ship in Northern Ireland. And I'm like, so you're telling me the recruiter lied to you? And he's like, yeah, those recruiters suck. And I'm like, recruiters have sucked since World War II? And he's like, yeah, they're awful. And I'm just like, oh my God. So super funny. But all my guests have been amazing. They come in, and I mean, the women that have been on my show, the women veterans that have been on my show that talk about being raped or sexually assaulted in the military openly for the first time ever. I mean, that's some really, really personal stuff, and some of it I wasn't even aware of, and I would never ask that, you know.
Right.
So I think the people that have come on my podcast that have set the example, and they left everything on the show. You know, they left it all out there, and being pretty vulnerable, I think that speaks volumes to not only to their community but who they are as people. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, to name one person that would be I would never get another guess in my entire life if I had one favorite one, but they're all pretty good. I did interview. I waited actually 4 years for him. Michael Connor Humphreys. He was young Forrest Gump in Forrest Gump. That was virtual, and that was pretty effing cool. Because Forrest Gump, I mean, if you don't like Forrest Gump, you're a fucking commie. Let's just call it like it is. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that was a perfect answer. Now it's usually 5 questions, but Mike had 7, and we're gonna hit them all. So
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
The next one, well, I'll save that one for last. I'll do this one next. And this one might be hard too, just kind of like the last question. But what's your favorite veteran-owned company and why?
You guys are gonna make me lose all my sponsors. That's what's gonna happen. Man, they're all my favorite guys. I for different reasons, right? Like here in the state of Wisconsin, we've got Burn Pit Barbecue. We got Greg, and Ben. They're doing great things down there. And then you got my buddy Dean and down at Tailgate Foodie. They're doing incredible things. You got Anthony Anderson that we talked about. We've got my buddy Jason Flores. It's so hard to pick just one, but I will say I'm pretty connected, not just as friends, but I would say on a cellular level to Black Rifle, and I will tell you why. It's because I was invited to their veteran adaptive archery shoot at their ranch in Texas in 2022, and they paid for my airfare, they paid for my hotel, the whole nine, and I got to hang out with all these veteran business owners, but we call them veteran celebrities, but I don't like that word. I just like I like the word mentor or an example, because they're. I shot the course with John Dudley. If you know who John Dudley is, he's really well known in the archery community. Numerous Olympic gold medalists, world champion. The guy is an incredible archer, and I'm shooting bows with the guy. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is nerve wracking, right? Or meeting Tim Kennedy at dinner, having dinner with Tim Kennedy and what's his name, Christian Craighead, the guy that stormed the Niobe embassy and smoke checked all those terrorists. Remember that, the SA operator? Remember that a couple years ago? I met him. So meeting all of those people you see online, what you see online is not who they are in real life. After the course, I shot the course. It was like a 15 target course. It took 3-4 hours because we were walking, and the ranch is pretty big. But I get done, and I'm walking back to the truck to put my gear around, and Matt Best and a bunch of people are sitting on the back of his truck on his tailgate, drinking beer and just sipping on whiskey. And I just put my gear down, and he's like, "Hey man, you want a beer?" And I look at him like dead in the eye. And this is Matt Best, by the way. Look him dead in the eye, and I was like, "Are the Kennedys gun shy?" And he's just like, "Oh, that's the funniest thing I ever heard. Do you want a beer?" And I was just like, "Yeah, give me a Coors Latte." And he's just like, "A Coors Latte." And I was like, "That's what we call them in Wisconsin." And we had probably a 45-minute conversation about life, sitting on the back of his tailgate, just drinking beer, sipping on some really good. I don't even know what the whiskey was, but I've had a friend there for 7-8 years, and I try to get stuff for different events that I'm a part of 2-3 times a year, and th've sent me. So last year archery event that I had, they sent me a 970-pound pallet full of black rifle. It was about $30,000 of stuff for
Oh.
free.
Wow.
I have a pic.
Wow.
It's on my Instagram. I saw you guys pull pictures from my Instagram. If you guys scroll through there, you'll see me sitting on top of it. And so to have that level of connection, they sent me a mini fridge for my podcast studio. Matt Foley, cool name. And I got the first ever veteran when I received the first veteran of the year of Northeastern Wisconsin, they sent me that mini fridge with my podcast logo on the door. So all this hate and bullshit that Black Rifle gets, it's so unwarranted. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm not getting paid to defend them one bit. It's people see something on the internet and they just instantly believe it, and I'm just like, you have no idea. Like, I was just at headquarters in February. I got to hang out with those guys again. So it's like, so same thing.
I think the hate
with
is
Aaron.
because they're successful, but like they're truly generous and very they give back so much through so many different avenues. But because they're successful, there's hate, and
yeah. You should hop on the BRCC Fund Instagram page, and they drove like a U-Haul truck down full of coffee, and I can't tell what else they had, but they had coffee and everything for the hurricane people down, hurricane victims and survivors down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Is an entire U-Haul or semi truck. You know what I mean? So it's not just. It's pretty incredible. That's probably my favorite company. For a lot of reasons.
I'm pretty big into coffee, and I follow a lot of different veteran-owned coffee companies. And there's quite a few small veteran-owned coffee companies that hate Black Rifle, but it's not really warranted. Just like you said, they're just so giving and they do so much for veterans. Work together. Don't hate them.
There's a lot of unwarranted hate in the veteran community. I get it for myself. I get it for myself for the podcast. People hate me because I have a podcast and I found a way to be different. And success is subjective anyway. So it's like you're mad about something that I don't. My level of success is different from yours, so I'm happy, but you're not happy because I reached my goals. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, cool, awesome. Calm down. Go get a burrito and touch the grass. You know what I mean? Like, everything's gonna be okay. I get it every day. I really do. And I guess this is probably a good time to tell you guys some pretty cool breaking news. I was gonna announce it myself next week, but I'll tell you guys if you guys want to know. You guys want to know?
Yeah.
So next week will be 5 years anniversary, as I told you guys, right? For the podcast, but I'll be officially full-time on the podcast starting next week, and full-time doing the podcast and consulting, and I have 2 clients, so that's my new gig. I'll be doing that full-time. So, so that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. So all those people that hate, suck it. So, I watched that documentary of Vince McMahon, and all I could remember was Degeneration X. Walking down the hallways in elementary school. So.
Yeah, I got about halfway through it.
It's really good. It's really good. But sorry, not to get off. You guys got to tell me to shut up because I'm a host too. So you guys got to tell me to shut the fuck up sometimes because I'll just go on and on.
No, well, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving your stories. I'm not a veteran. I've told these other 2 guys before.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think even today, and I'm 54 now. but I think about it, and I think how would my life turned out if I would have went into the military, and then being the age I am, when I would have went in, I might not have been here today, like so many of the other people that haven't made it back.
Right.
And I mean, sometimes I regret it not serving my country, but other times I think, well, you never know what would have happened, you know.
It's not something that you should regret, Jason. I mean,
No.
it is what it is. Like you can't, like some people. It's like me saying, "Oh man, I should have tried harder to play football. That just wasn't in the cards for me." I loved football. I love golf too. But you have, Jason, you have a busy season coming up, don't you? You have a busy season coming up because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got all those Santa Claus commitments at the mall.
yeah, yep, yep.
He had one.
But not
one,
only that, but Jason's a true patriot, though, and that matters.
Yeah,
I can tell. People tell me this all the time. I get people, they come up to me and they have physical and intellectual disabilities, and they're just like, "Man, I wish I could serve." I'm like, "You can still serve. You don't need to wear a uniform to serve. You know what I mean? Go volunteer at a homeless shelter, a food pantry, whatever it is. Just go help somebody. Like that's all you really need in this world. I mean, if you want an American flag on your shoulder, fuck, I'll sew it on for you if that's really what it means to you. But just give back. You know what I mean? Like that's all you can do. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I don't look down to anybody. Like I don't care. Like even in the veteran community, like I tell my veterans that I meet, like I honestly don't fucking care what you did or didn't do in the military, as long as you are using all of that experience to help your friends, family, community, and yourself. That's it. So, what's this guy saying? I'm triggered. I was told to touch the grass. That's not what I said. I said go get a burrito and then touch the grass. Go have a picnic. If you're gonna quote me correctly.
Oh.
Now I'm told to suck it. Are we back in the WWE Attitude Era?
Right. So Jason, Ray wants to hire you.
Yeah.
Tactical Santa.
Yeah, he's actually going to be on next week on the show.
Very cool.
You got to take care of my travel expenses too, Ray.
One kid hit him up last year thinking he was Santa.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. It's very cool. I better see a picture with you with a Santa Claus hat on for at least one episode. So.
Oh, I do have a hat.
There you go. It's really cool. But,
I actually Sunday I stopped in at the Harbor Freight store, and there was a young kid working the register, and he said to me, he says, because I do still have a little bit of brown, He says, if you get rid of that brown, you make a great Santa Claus. I said, yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yep.
Ray says he sent his magical unicorn to pick you up, Jason.
Yeah. Okay. I'd do that.
It's funny.
I tell you what I'd really like to have is the Santa jacket that Kurt Russell wore in his movie, Santa Claus movie. I'd like to have that Santa coat.
I'll touch your grass any day, Ryan. I think that's my buddy Trevor. That is Trevor, that dirty fuck. So Trevor, he lives up here in Green Bay. He's a firefighter. He did 20 years in the mill, and we went to New York City together for a veteran trip, and he was my roommate. He's a good guy. You should have him on too. You guys should reach out to him. He's got a good story. But
Cool.
no, yeah, I like reading the comments. Sorry, I'm distracted. I got like
That's
8.
fine. Well, I'll hit you up with the one last question,
Sure.
and that is, if you could only do one thing on your bucket list, you can only do one. What would your top bucket list achievement be?
Man, I'm fucking boring, guys. I would take my whole family to Machu Picchu in Peru.
I actually have a picture of that behind me.
I don't know. It's just one of those. It's either I mean, Machu Picchu is like number one on my bucket list to go visit, but also going to Normandy is
Yeah.
also up there too. But that's it. Like I'm pretty simple. I don't have any. It's small obtainable goals for me.
Yeah.
And I want I didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. So in single parent, my mom single mother, 2 boys. She did it all by herself, and so like now I'm, see man, and now I'm busting my ass, and I want to take my daughter places that I never even dreamed of going, and give her a life that's 10x what I had. It's crazy though. It's we're talking about now. You guys brought up my mom and stuff, and in this past summer, in 1 week's time, in the same week, Monday through Friday, my daughter had surgery for a cochlear implant. So my daughter's 80% deaf in one ear, so she got a cochlear implant in one ear. So that was on a Monday the 28th, I think, of July or something like that, or 22nd. And then the 28th. Anyway, that week, the last week of July. So then Monday was a surgery. Wednesday, I found my father and my sister for the first time. I've never met my father or my sister. I did one of those DNA things, and I located my family that I've never met. And then 2 days later, my son was born, all in the same week.
Oh wow.
Wow.
It was quite the summer, right?
Yeah.
So, but to do, so that would be my bucket list. Is definitely Machu Picchu or Normandy. They're kind of tied, to be honest with you. They both have like Machu. There's I don't know anybody. It's like Normandy means a lot to us Americans and veterans, right?
Yeah.
There's a tangible value there, but Machu Picchu, I don't know. I fucking love Indiana Jones. I don't know. I just want to go there. I don't know. It's just one of those deals. So hopefully you don't go there when it's foggy. I've been reading a lot about it. The fog in the mountains, that might be gnarly, but I've already been to Hawaii. I've already been to Vegas. I've already done the war thing, so I don't really. I have no desire to go to space or underwater, because we all know how going underwater goes for people.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my bucket list. I mean, I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty simple, pretty easy. I mean, I know a lot of people have, other crazy goals, but I support them. I think they're awesome. But I like traveling. I'm a big traveler, so I'm actually in the process of booking another trip to Salt Lake City in February for the Western Hunt Expo. So, hey, do you guys have? I was thinking about it because I saw your shelf back there, Scott. Do you guys have Ben shot glasses? Have you ever seen the Ben shot glasses?
I've seen them. I haven't gotten any of them yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
If you guys can send me you guys' address, I'm very close friends with the owner. Actually, I put on veteran events at the headquarters. So Scott, if you want to come up and you want to make your own glass, let me know. But I'd love to send you guys like a small little rocks glass. And with you guys want a bullet? Do you guys want a broadhead? Or a hunk of cheese? You know what? I'll send you a hunk of cheese, Jason, because You need to smile more. A piece of cheese will make you smile. So.
I like firearms, so
All right, I'll send you a 308. I'll send you a 308 then. So
that'd be good. Yeah.
just send me a mailing
That's
address. But yeah, I'll try to get you guys some. You guys send me some addresses. I'll let them know. And they're really busy right now, so probably be a minute. They made a Trump glass, so they're kind of a little busy right now. So it's some things it's an interesting they're the number one seller of handmade goods on Amazon in the world.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Right here in Appleton, Wisconsin. So they
Wow.
handmade every glass is handmade. That didn't look good on camera, did it?
No. and you keep doing it doesn't make it look better either.
Fucking homo show right here. And but all the glasses are made in Appleton, 100% American made, Wisconsin made. Everything's sourced here in America, and I know there's probably some whiskey drinkers, some old fashioned people here. So you want to talk about another great? They're not a veteran company, but they are some big supporters of veterans and law enforcement. So if you guys, I don't know if you, Jason, or Mike, have you guys ever heard of Ben Shot before?
I have not. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, give them a look, see if you guys can. But yeah.
See if I
And
can.
they're only 2 blocks from my studio, so.
Hmm.
I don't know, can you guys show a picture on the stream? Okay.
That's what I'm working on here.
I didn't know how this works. This is actually pretty cool. Ricky, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So those are the shot glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the 308.
Yep. And then they have like rocks glasses and pint glasses. They have Steins. They have Steins with 50 cals in them. There you go. Yep. Incredible company, guys. Everything, it's absolutely incredible. Yep, they have a hunk of cheese. There you go, Jason. There's your hunk of cheese right there. put a smile on your face.
So they make the glass there, like they blow the glass, they shape it.
No, they don't.
All that?
They don't blow the glass.
Oh, okay.
But they do the embedments there. They cure it. It has to cure for 24 hours.
Okay.
And it's all made right here in Wisconsin, dude. Like, I was just there yesterday, talking to the owner. So, definitely, if you guys send me a mailing address, if you got any people that are in the Navy, they have the anchor glasses. They have sea hooks.
Yeah, we have a guy who's normally here, Chief.
Well, there you go, Chief, right there.
But I'm sure he'll rewatch the show.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you guys, you guys, like, I think the thing with having a platform like you guys have, or what I have, or anything like that, I think, one of like the kind of the secret pillars that I have is like, we kind of have a moral and ethical responsibility to like promote those that have helped us. And I'll be honest, publicly share that Ben, the owner of Ben Shot, he was one of the first people to ever support me in my podcast. I walked into his office, I had all of my metrics printed off of my podcast, like downloads, everything. Like, I was ready to go into like a board meeting, like a corporate headquarters, right? I walk into his office, he's putting chairs together for me to sit in. You know what I mean? And he's just like, oh, I just put these chairs together. And I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't know. But I had all the documentation ready to go to show him, like, hey, my podcast is good, blah, blah, blah. He's just like, I don't fucking care. I just want to know who you are as a person and what do you need from us? You know what I mean? And that's how our relationship started. So I want to give back to people that have supported me and my fellow veterans, you know what I mean? And it's pretty easy, you know what I mean? You guys have a great setup, and it seems like you guys have some pretty cool supporters, Though,
yeah, we do.
I got that Joe Dirt DNA, though. I don't have any. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm the least qualified guest for the show.
We're
Not at
we're
all.
not
Not at all.
all about beards. We do other stuff as well.
What is this, charity hour? Why do they got this guy on here with no beard? No.
There's
Hey, you
actually
mentioned,
people in the chat that don't have beards as well.
going to the archery event with Black Rifle in 2022.
Yeah.
And I think, was there another guy from Appleton that went as well that you're aware of?
Not Appleton.
but
Watoma.
He goes by
Watoma.
like one leg wonder or something like that.
Yeah, my buddy Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan. I couldn't think of his name. Okay.
Yep. Jordan was there. He actually went to the very first one, and out in Salt Lake City, and the very first one. So, and then I think he skipped the second one, or the second one didn't happen, and this was the third one. I think this was the third or fourth one that we went to. Yeah. So, no, Jordan and I actually traveled together. We were on the same flight and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I
great.
figured that.
Great. Yeah.
So
Yep.
there used to be a podcast called Save Our Six, and
Okay.
he was a guest on there a couple times. That's how I found out about his story, and I remember him posting pictures of that event. I was like, oh, okay.
Jordan's been on my my podcast twice, and Jordan's story is just super impactful. I mean, the VA messing up his surgery, and he gets diagnosed with a super rare artery. It's called popliteal artery disease, and the only way to make him better was taking his leg. So they took his leg, and so he's an amputee vet because the VA botched the surgery.
Yep.
But I mean, the guy does so much, and I mean, I watched this guy, climb mountains for hunts with one leg. He does more with one leg than most people do with both their legs.
Absolutely.
So, and these are the people that I surround myself with. You know what I mean? So, I tell people, you are a culmination of the 5 closest people in your life. So if you're surrounded with 5 people that are just kicking ass in the world, you're going to be the 6th person. But if you have 5 people in your life that are absolute shitheads, you're going to be the 6th. You know what I mean? So
right.
I got friends that are CEOs. I got friends that are financial advisors. I got friends like Jordan. I'm friends with felons. All of it, the whole gambit. And I learn from all of them. And I think I don't live in an echo chamber, so I don't. If you look at the sky and you say it's purple, and my other friend says it's blue, well, okay, cool, awesome. Let's go get a burrito and hang out. You know what I mean? I love different perspectives, and I love it all. I try not to be so stern in opinion, because there's a lot of extenuating circumstances in many situations. That's who I surround myself with, and I think podcasts have really kind of helped. We can have normal conversations in this world, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love talking. I mean, shit, I got 7 detentions in 1 month in fucking 5th grade for talking too much. So, that was, I forgot to mention that. That was the other reason why I started the podcast. Not the reason why. It was more of like a after effect of starting it. When I was in school, I was always talking, and one of my teachers was just like, you can't talk, and you can't talk all the time, and you're gonna have to find a job, and here's a newspaper. I remember his name, Mr. Lewis. He was one of my special ed teachers. The guy was a fucking asshole, and he hands me a newspaper, and he's like, get used to looking for jobs, because this is what you're gonna amount to in your life. That's what he said to me. Like, that's all you're gonna amount to. And I was like, and fast forward to where I'm at now, and I was just like, well, joke's on you, Mr. Lewis. We don't even fucking use newspapers anymore. So I just pull up my iPad.
What's the conversation like between you and Anthony?
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk a whole lot, but I mean we're friends, like we're buddies. I mean,
He talks a lot. Like
we
he
get him
can
on the
go
show.
and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Anthony. I mean, he sent me a bunch of beer oil for guests. You know, I actually had Charlie Barons coming on a couple years ago, and he canceled like 5 minutes before he was supposed to be there.
Wow.
Legitimately, like I was devastated, and something with his grandma, and it could be true, it could not be. It might not be true. I don't know. Kind of like what?
Back to your newspaper story with your teacher.
Oh.
Kind of like they said, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time. Well,
Now we
guess
all
what?
do.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man. Teachers, yeah, the joke's on, like, now I get paid to talk, so, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
double suck it. You know what I mean? Like, I just proved everybody wrong. It's kind of funny. It's pretty righteous, but Anthony's a good guy, and then he just crushes it. But
He's an awesome guy, and he does so much for veterans as well. Like, mad respect for him.
Yeah, he definitely crushes it. He's busted his ass to make his company what it is, and
Yeah.
I love watching. I actually took. If you, he was bugging out. He actually left me a package outside his old house, and I picked it up as this big box when I was headed to Salt Lake City. I actually brought, I think I brought 6 or 8 boxes of lit beard oil and tailgate foodie seasonings to Black Rifle headquarters, and I have a picture of all the Black Rifle guys checking it and smelling all his beard oil at Black Rifle. So he lost
us about that on our show.
Yep. Yeah. He went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over that, man. He was pretty pumped.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I like to support my friends. Like, what you know, like, what do I get out of it? I get to see my friends smile, and that, you know, their stuff gets to go somewhere. Like, I don't need anything for it. It's no sweat off my back, you know. So
Right.
yeah, it's pretty fun. Anthony's a good guy, and definitely don't. He did the 9/11 stair climb with me. He crushed it, absolutely murdered it. Of course he did, and just a great dude. So
Yeah, he's a beast.
you should come do the 9/11 stair climb, Scott.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this last year. A couple of the guys from my beard club chapter went.
This was my 4th year doing it. So, and I wear a plate carrier when I do it, and it's awesome, dude. Like it. I got my neighbor next door, my neighbor Matt. He's not a vet, but he's a big duck hunter, so we get along. And he doesn't work out. He doesn't watch football, and I got him to do it, and he crushed it. And he was like, "This is really cool." I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." So it's fun to get out, and it's
How many flights is it?
110.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you see Jason? He just went internal. He was like,
Yeah.
like
I'm trying to think how many flights are in the Statue of Liberty. I did that one.
Oh, I did that too. The Statue of Liberty. I think that was, what is that, like 1800? No, it's not 1800. I did it though because we did it when we went to New York City. You can ask Trevor, the guy that was giving me a hard time on here. We all the veterans had to walk up it, and we get like maybe halfway, and we got these like hardcore veterans. They're dying. One guy was smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes. I thought he was gonna die. He was right. I was only like 3rd from the front, and I work out a lot. Like I go to CrossFit, I run, I do a lot of working out, and I'm just like, this is great. I feel great. But all the guys behind me, like, they are like, you got 100% service-connected disabled veterans walking up all the flights of stairs in the Statue of Liberty, and I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, and people are, where's the goddamn elevator? Like, we didn't sign up for this. And I get to the top and I'm just like, that was great. Let's do that again. Like, that was fine. Like, it was fine. It
No,
was
my wife had to stop and take a break a couple times.
it's a lot of stairs. Yeah, 100%. But it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny. But New York was great. Have you guys ever been to New York?
I have.
Yeah, I have a couple times.
What, like recently?
No.
Like within the last year, you've been to New York.
Oh yeah. I was out on Long Island. Yeah, that was about a year ago. Because it was out on Long Island. There's another beard company owner, Five Boroughs Grooming. He's on Long Island. We had a little meetup up there.
Very cool. Yeah, New York's great. When I was out there, I realized that if I was young and I single, didn't have any kids, like I would live in New York for like 12, 18 months and then come back home. Like it is actually really, really incredible to be there. And I loved it. Loved every second of it.
I don't know, man. Everything's expensive
Everything
out
is
there.
everything is kind of pricey, but it was cool though because so we did that Old Glory honor flight. They took 62 Iraq Afghan war vets to New York City on an honor flight, right? So that was my honor to go to New York City to go see Ground Zero, 9/11 Museum, Statue of Liberty, all that. We met Medal of Honor recipient David Bellavia, some of the survivors of the Twin Towers. We met Will Hamero, who was. Have you ever seen the movie World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was made after Will Hamero because Will had both towers fall on top of him. And he was trapped for 13 hours with both towers on top of him. And but New York is absolutely incredible. When we were there in flight, they gave us $75 for every veteran for dinner, right? So then we get $75 cash to go buy dinner wherever we wanted. Well, we're on these buses to get to the hotel, and we stop right in front of the hotel. And then the other side of the road, there's weed shops. And I was like, well, I think I know where I'm spending my money. And they were just like, oh my gosh. Like, and, weed's legal in New York City. So what's this? You bleed red, but I bleed blue. Can we be friends? Yeah, of course. That's silly.
There's Bearded Chief.
There's Chief.
But I never. That person identified my blood as red. I don't think I ever said that I bleed red. So I bleed red, white, and blue. Maybe that's what they're saying.
My family, we always said we bleed green because we're Packer fans.
Oh, dude. So actually, speaking of Packer fans, we went to the #1 Packer bar in New York City, Kettle of Fish. Kettle of Fish was actually founded by a guy that's from De Pere, and we were there. It was like walking into like your neighbor's basement, and he's grilling brats in the corner. Like it was like, hey guys, how you guys doing? Hey. It was, man, I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was so much fun. So much fun. And I got to do it with went to Times Square. Like that was a huge bucket list thing for me. Ever since seeing Home Alone 2, yeah, for some reason I love Home Alone. Just seeing or Die Hard 3, where they're in New York City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for the record, everyone listening, Die Hard 1 and 2 is a Christmas movie. So
I say that every year.
I will absolutely fight people on that. So. But yeah, no. Yeah, New York's great. And the food was good. So the company was better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
at the airports for welcoming all those guys back from the honor flights, and that's just amazing in itself.
What happened, Scott? Jason?
Hey, Chris.
How you doing? That's the beard company owner from Maine we were telling you about earlier.
Perfect. Where do we know where in Maine?
Madison. I'm not sure. I think it's near I want to say
Yeah.
Portland, but I might be wrong. I'm
I,
never been to Maine.
I was up in Lee and Lincoln, Maine, so way up north. Actually, one of the Delta operators that was in Black Hawk Down was actually from Lincoln, Maine. There's a big old statue. Gary Gordon was from Lincoln, Maine. So
Very cool.
that's awesome. I'm realizing that the bearded community is kind of like a mafia. I'm learning so much here.
Oh, ours is low key. If you go in Dan C's chats, there's like 300 people in there.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he's super busy making liquid butter, listening to podcast style now. Very cool, Chris.
Very cool. Did we lose Mike, or is he still driving?
I don't know. He's muted.
Yeah, he's
I'm
muted.
sure he's still driving.
Oh, there
Yeah,
he is.
I'm just listening.
I thought he was muted for so long. I thought you got pulled over by a cop.
Not yet. But I'll give you an update. Just over 2/11 of the way there.
Well, how do you come up with 11ths? You have checkpoints to make it to?
No, it's 880 miles. So
Oh, okay.
every 80 miles is one part of it.
Nope.
So they're north of Augusta.
Okay.
Man.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I didn't get to travel too much, but northern Maine was gorgeous. And can we talk about the math that Mike is doing? 11ths? Like that's
that's what I was like. How do you come up with 11ths?
Is he trying to be an asshole? Like, just say, like
No, I'm a math guy. I'm always calculating things. Just me.
Well,
I'd go with like tenths or.
Or you could just be a normal American and just be like, "Hey, I'm a quarter of the way there." You know, like,
Yeah. Or even eighths. Eighths would be better, because you got 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, Every 110 miles would be an eighth then.
Yeah, I
That'd be
can
better.
do that. But then it's like,
It's going to throw you off now.
She says you're using Navy math.
I'm at 179 miles. How's that?
I think it's this new math they're teaching in school now with all these young kids.
Don't get me.
Don't get it.
Yeah, don't get me started with that. I mean, I had 5 daughters, and the oldest one's 30, and my youngest one's 18. She just graduated.
Sure.
But when I've been out of school longer than obviously longer than any of them's been alive, but they come home and ask me, because I was pretty decent in math and I use math every day of my life, but man, the way they're teaching them, like my daughter with fractions, you got to reduce fractions or add, I said every fraction is a division problem. I said that's why, like, 1/4 is 25%, or 1 divided by 4 gives you 0.25. I said, and that's 25 cents. That goes in with $1. That's your quarter, I said, but every fraction is a division problem. It don't matter if it's 230 over 1,000. It's a division problem. You can turn it into a decimal and do your math that way. But they don't want to do that. They want to see your work. But
This is why I don't do math on my show. I'll fucking lose all my listeners.
I think this is the first time we've encountered math
Yeah.
on our show.
Yeah.
I did 5 semesters of math at I went to Whitewater for my bachelor's, and I specifically took I didn't have to take these classes, but I did anyways. I did the education route because that was the easiest math classes I could take, but they were all with girls that wanted to be teachers. So all my math classes were with chicks. So I was just like, who wants to do a study hall?
See, and that's the thing. My youngest daughter who just finally graduated. You know, she didn't like school, and I can't blame her because I didn't like school either. But like when I went from junior high to high school, I was in the accelerated track. So in ninth grade, I took biology and I took algebra, and you know, so then my sophomore year, then I could go to Votech. So I went to Votech for half the day. So, but I still took algebra 2 and I forget what science. But anyway, my senior year come along and I still needed another math and another science. And I told the principal, I said, look, I says, when I come up in ninth grade, I took biology. I said, so now I want to take the ninth grade science that the normal ninth graders took because I didn't take it. And then I wanted to take consumer math, which I think they should have consumer math now because that'll teach you how to write a check and balance your checkbook and that kind of stuff. That's the stuff you need. Geometry, you're not going to need geometry in life. You know what I mean? And algebra and calculus and trigonometry. Of course, I do some trigonometry now for laying things out, but yeah, I took the easy way out my senior year. Man, I coasted. It was great.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, he's
I
a
had like
welder by trade.
Yeah,
I took
yeah. I'm a
two
welder.
gym classes in my senior year.
Oh, that's nice.
I
had
took
two.
one class my senior year. The rest were all study halls.
I had 2. Yeah, I had 2 study halls. Yeah. When I was down in Indianapolis for one of my jobs, we did an escape room for like team building, right? That's not a good team building thing, by the way. People are fucking yelling at each other the whole goddamn time, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, but one of them was you had to solve polynomials to get out of to get a code. So if you remember polynomials, you got to cancel out polynomials, right? And it was super simple. You just got to cancel out and solve for whatever the letter was. Anyway, well, I suck at math. Like I'm horrible at math. Like polynomials were not my deal. I solved it and I got the code and we got what we needed. And I'm just like, holy shit! Like 8.5 years of college and I finally paid off. Like I'm a god. Like I'm a math god. That's the only time. I hope my daughter is really good at math, but no, I mean I think since we're on the topic of college and stuff, I think college is super super important for those that want to go, and I tell all my veterans that they're getting out, and I meet a lot of service members and veterans that refuse to go to college because the the constant thing that I hear is, they don't want to go to liberal campuses and all this. Well, here's the deal: you can choose where you go. I don't know if you guys know that or not. And if you choose to go to a liberal campus, that's probably what the environment's going to feel like, right? But I will challenge veterans in the sense that you have a GI Bill, you can apply to go to anywhere, and you can go to. I know veterans that they went to Ivy League schools and they went to Harvard or Columbia or Brown, all these amazing schools, right? Or you go to a state college, right? Some of the GI Bill will even pay for overseas studies, right, in other countries, right? So I tell them that just go to school, get your degree, and if don't let them change life experience, right? Because experience is the best teacher, right?
Mm.
It's kind of hard to sit in like an American policy class and they're talking about the Iraq War when the professor's never fucking been there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
but yet you got 6 combat vets in the back that have been there. It's just like, all right, homeboy, maybe we should teach this part of class, right? And we actually did some of that. We actually had a panel, and we actually invited teachers in, and they asked us like, how should we teach this? How should we teach that? And we're just like, accurately. You know what I mean? We have the fucking receipts. Like, we can show you. You know what I mean? Like, we have the pictures. I'm sorry, like, you can have a PhD in, whatever fucking bozo shit. But I'm sorry, like, unless you don't have a seat at that table, I'm sorry, you really don't. Kudos to you for having a PhD. Everybody knows that's very difficult to get. But, I'm sorry, if you haven't been there, then I'm sorry, you don't have a seat at this table. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. We kind of sometimes taught a little bit of the class. We were in community policing class because my major was sociology, criminal justice. In criminal justice course, there was a course called community policing where you learn about probation and parole and prisons and stuff like that. Well, I worked in a prison over in Iraq for 3 months, and they started getting on the topic of when inmates develop relationships or guards develop relationships with inmates, right? And my buddy to my right, my buddy Paul, who was in the first fight of Fallujah, right? And Paul doesn't give a fuck about anything. Like, big to everybody all the time, right? He's earned that T-shirt, right? First fight of Fallujah. Then we had another guy, Brent. He was in the second fight of Fallujah, right? Had an RPG shot within 3 feet of his face, right? He's deaf in one ear, right? Coolest people to go to school with, right? Well, Paul leans in and he's just like, "Hey, Ryan, you should talk about waffle butt and waffle face." And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's a good idea." So for those that don't know what waffle face and waffle butt is, that's when the guard would put their ass against the fence, and then the detainee would fuck them through the fence, and then their ass would look like a waffle because of the fence. And I said that out loud in class, and the professor was like, "Yeah, I think that's a good stop. Good point to stop now. Everybody have a good day." And I was just like, "Okay." I thought we were talking about when inmates develop relationships with guards. Like, was this bad timing? I'm so sorry. Like, it's a part of American history. Let's just call it like it is. So yeah, college was great. I miss college more than I miss the military, to be honest with you. Military was great. Like, I did the thing. I was a great soldier. I was a great leader. Before I left, I ran a small part of a ammo section. I reclassed ammunition specialist before I got out. I had 2 people underneath me. I was proficient in my tasks, my drills, and but college was great. Absolutely amazing. Got to travel, got to learn a lot. I met a lot of great people, lifelong friends. One of them started like a really cool peanut butter company. What the fuck, right? And to my veterans, if there's anybody listening, that goes like, be friends with those people that are smarter and better than you in certain topics, because they're going to help you and you're going to learn. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I sat next to the nerdiest fucking people. Like, and we're all very smart gentlemen. We fucking know who the nerds are. Like, it's 2024. They all look the same. They still look the same. Just like, who's this? Dan? Oh, Dan Reese is on here. That dirty guy. So he's actually, remember I told you guys about the HorrorCon veteran hunt?
Mm-hmm.
So Dan's been a guide down there at the HorrorCon veterans hunt. So the HorrorCon veteran hunt is in HorrorCon, Wisconsin. The HorrorCon veteran hunt is the largest veteran hunt in the country. Hands down. There's no other place doing any. They bring in 80 veterans from around the country to hunt the HorrorCon. God damn, Jason, that was loud as shit.
I know these guys talk about my chair all the time, and I'm sorry.
I think we can take a. You guys have all the sponsors in the world for beard oil. Can you get some WD-40 oil sponsorships? Holy shit! But anyway, so Dan, he's a guide down there, and the Horicon is the largest freshwater marsh in the country, right? And Dan's he's one of the best guides we have down there. Really, really awesome guy, and we give each other a hard time. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's funny that he's on here. Goofy guy. I forgot what I was talking about. College, but college was great. College was fun. I miss college. What's that say? My dad retired from
Department of Corrections. Their brother is currently working.
So I don't. You guys can't see it on my shelf. It's like right there. I think my shit's blurred. So that's actually an award I got from Iraq. It's a handmade award, and when we were doing compound swaps in Iraq for detainees, so we did compound swaps to disrupt the movement of contraband because the Iraqi correction officers were fucking useless, and the Iraqi correction officers, their work schedule was.
Whoops.
The Iraqi correction officers' work schedule was 4 days on, 10 days off, and detainees weren't supposed to have certain things. And if they had a watch, they would actually take the watch and wrap it around their dick, and thinking that we would never search there. Well, joke's on them, because I will say publicly, I have seen probably 7,000 terrorist wieners in my life. I'm not ashamed of it. That was part of my job. Whatever. So I found a cock watch. I found a watch wrapped around a guy's dick, and I'm just like, holy shit, they actually do it. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, fucking rip that thing off. It was a Casio. So, pretty goofy stuff. Seer specialist, yeah. She spelled seer wrong.
You mean it wasn't a fake like Bulgari or Rolex like they're flooded over in Iraq?
No, it was a Casio or a G-Shock. I think it was a Casio. Levi,
so many fake watches over there.
Levi's on. Levi runs a podcast there in Milwaukee for Dry Hooch. Sweet cock watch. Hey, that's just how it rolls. The things I did for my country.
Sweet cock watch.
Sweet sounds dirty.
Did you guys see you guys did something with a ruck march?
Yeah, on Sunday, my beard club's been doing this Ruck 22 watch. It's walk. It's in Madison.
Yep. Okay.
So they do 11 miles.
It's cool. 11 miles out, 11 miles back.
No, a total of 11 miles around this Lake Mendota, I think it is.
Okay. That's pretty cool. It's very important. It's there's a lot of people do that, and that's awesome that you guys do that. I get asked to do the fourth Hua Ruck March every year up here in Green Bay, and I'm like, nope, I'll just donate $20. I don't want to Ruck March anymore. Like most veterans, most veterans that actually did Ruck March in the military, it's just not fun anymore. It's just not.
I never found it fun to begin with.
No, not. And then you get these guys that show up with like.
I do it for fun now.
Yeah, you do it for fun.
Yeah, well,
It wasn't fun when I had to do it in the Army.
Yeah, well, whoever goes ruck marching with you would probably lose their mind. Hey, we're only 2/11 through this ruck march.
He goes up in the mountains and goes on these big hikes.
That's awesome. It's very cool. As one thing I didn't mention earlier is that I'm actually a dual suicide survivor, and there was, veterans go through some pretty gnarly things coming back home, and the best thing we can do is set the right example for each other and make sure we're watching out for each other and helping them when we can. I don't really like that whole, if you guys call and check in on your buddies thing. You heard that, right?
Mhm.
I understand the premise of this, and some people might not agree with this, but the reason why I don't really, we gotta call a spade on this one, gentlemen. What we're doing is still not working. Veterans are still killing themselves, and I'm frustrated because we're raising all this money and we're doing all these things, but where is the actual change in my community? And it's, to me, just saying call your friends. So when you say that, especially in the veteran community, hey, just call up your buddy. Scott, just call up your buddy, right? Or your buddy's going to call you, right? But here's the deal. What we're doing is we're developing a standard that veterans aren't going to be able to maintain because they're not in standard as it is anyways. I got veteran friends that can't even hold a job down for 6 months, and we're telling them to call me. I can't rely on them.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. We're setting ourselves up for failure, essentially. So you can't just call somebody, show up at their house randomly, check in on them. I think that is a better thing to do. Support their business, right? Support their wins. Support them as best you can. But I don't. I'll show up at people's houses. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. There is a lot of things that we're doing right in their community, but there's a lot of bad things we're doing, and things that we should improve on, and we should start really figuring out where the money's going for all these nonprofits. One, there's over. Do you guys know how many veteran nonprofits are in the country?
Not how many. No.
Yeah.
There's over 50,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
There's over 50,000 veteran nonprofits. So that's kind of my, there's a lot of duplication of services, right? This organization does, employment. This one does that. They hate each other. Hey, this one does, transitioning. So does this one. They hate each other. So in the number 22 or whatever it is, it's actually like 40 a day.
Yeah.
And so one, we're not even, the veteran community is not even promoting this properly. And I read a study from the VA that it actually could be as high as 60 if they count accidental overdoses from drugs. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But I'd love to see what people have to say about that. But I think that's a pretty serious thing. Is that whole deal? But I don't like that whole just call your friends. Nope, I'm gonna go to your house. Like,
Whatever it takes.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I'm glad Levi liked it. But I mean, if calling's all you got, then that's all you got, right? And I'm not trying to knock that. But if we want to elevate it and change the ecosystem of our community and the people around us, whether they're a veteran or not, I don't care if they're a veteran. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Right.
When I went to college, I was best friends with my fucking postal worker. His name was Tom. He's actually, ironically, he was a Navy vet. But I was like, "What's up, Tom? How you doing, man?" Like, you know what I mean? Just simple random acts of kindness. Like, have you guys ever had a random act of kindness done to you and it just kind of blew you away? Like, oh fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
someone buy your coffee or XYZ. doesn't it kind of reshape your thinking?
Yeah, it does. Improves your day. Just gets you in a better frame of mind.
Is that my boy? So Eric, that just commented on it. He works for a veteran organization called Balance Veteran Network, and they help veterans do alternative therapies. He's done ayahuasca, I think, a handful of times. MDMA, they're really
Mhm.
working on that. I think they're doing other things too in the VA. I think they're doing mushrooms, or they're doing something else to help veterans. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I've never publicly shared this, but I'll share it with you guys. I've done gummies, THC gummies, mushrooms, and let me tell you, it is. I don't do it every day. I don't do it every week. I don't do it every month. But I tell you, just hanging out on my couch, watching Bluey or whatever the fuck's on TV at the time, relaxing, and it takes the weight off. I go to bed. I sleep very well. I'm super productive the next day. I do it maybe once a month, and I'm just like, cool. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
I got friends that went to Peru. They did ayahuasca. It was complete life changer. I know some people don't like the conversation of alternative medicine like this. Yeah, Michael Dursing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
your other buddy, right? You just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a Navy vet.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Ketamine. That's the other thing too. So I had another guy in the podcast. His name is Chase Ford. He does ketamine. Changed his life. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he gets ketamine injections. He's a completely different person. So if we really, and there's also the maybe Eric knows what I'm talking about. What's the if Eric's listening? There's some type of block. There's like a shot. There's a block. I forgot the name of it that people are getting. Eric will probably know what I'm talking about. And it's changing people's lives, veterans' lives, for post-traumatic stress.
Ganglion block.
Mike, what's it called, Mike?
Ganglion block surgery.
Ganglion block. Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you're cutting in and out for me, so I'm only hearing bits and pieces. I could definitely talk for hours on what you're talking about right now.
So I mean, we have all of this money we're raising. We have all of these events and stuff like that, but the therapies and the things that are actually fucking working aren't being promoted on a consistent basis. But what you do see is in the news or on social media, you see veterans are, doing this and it makes it look bad, or they're doing that and it makes it look bad. But I'm like, well, what about the veterans that are trying things that actually work, and they actually are they're becoming more involved with their family? Like, why aren't we fucking talking about that? It doesn't make any sense. Like, can someone please give me an answer on that? Like, I mean, I've been doing this almost 18 years, and I still can't wrap my head around it. It's upsetting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for the VA. It's cheaper to worship veterans than to actually take care of us. That's unfortunate. It's cheaper to worship veterans than to actually take care of us. That's how I see it, and it's upsetting. And it's that's why I push veterans, like hunting, working out. Like, I go to the CrossFit gym a lot. CrossFit gyms, whether you go to mine or you go to another one, to me, if there's a bunch of veterans in there, mine does not have a whole lot of veterans. I think I'm like one of 3, maybe. It's like a modern 21st century VFW. This is what the VFW should have been doing 70 years ago. Veterans getting into the gym, working out, meeting people that aren't veterans, hanging out with people that aren't veterans. All the people at my gym, they raised money. They raised a couple $100, and they bought diapers and wipes for my unborn child. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So veterans getting around non-veterans, networking, going to young professional events, having your business card, talking to them. If we can teach them interpersonal, like, let me rephrase that. They already have the interpersonal communication skills. They just need to know how to talk to non-veterans, you know what I mean, and
Right.
network and grow. That's what we should be focused on. That's just my 2 cents. And also helping veterans produce wealth, become wealthy, and educate them on finances. Like, there's and I'm not picking on any organization, but to me, what the veterans that I've helped and what I've seen in the last almost 18 years is that, there's veterans that much rather know how to buy a house than to be gifted a motorcycle. Yeah, what would you rather have?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a house and build wealth, or would you rather just have something given to you and be like, oh, well, here you go, get better? No, that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why I do what I do with my partners at Mortgage Nerds. They teach at Fort McCoy. They're the #1 preferred mortgage broker for the County Veteran Service Officer Association in the state of Wisconsin.
That's pretty cool.
That's how good they are. I'm the only veteran. Oh, sorry, Jason.
I would imagine that most veterans want to be productive. They don't want to be given shit. Like,
there's a lot of entitled veterans, Jason. There's a lot of entitled veterans. There's ones that believe that they deserve everything under the sun.
Yeah.
I'm sure Scott has seen it. I'm sure Mike has seen it. It's unfortunate. So it's unfortunate. But then there's also veterans that, so like for me, like if I go to Shields. You have a Shields out there in Pennsylvania?
I don't think so. I know what it is though, but
so they have veteran parking spots up front, right? Well, here's the deal. I'm fat and lazy. I love those parking spots. Right? But then you got veterans that will make fun of veterans for parking there. Be like, why would you do that? Well, that is a nonverbal way of this company saying, hey, we love you, we support you. Here's a closer parking spot. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's the community that we exist in. That's the veteran community in a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know at our Home Depot, we'll use the veteran spot, and my wife will get out and they'll look at her like she's not a veteran. Then they'll see me get out and they're like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "What the hell is that about?"
But see, that's not a good look though, because your wife could be a veteran.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. What does a veteran look like?
I don't know. Well, I think I'm the ugliest looking veteran there is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But we have to change the narrative. Is that if a woman parks, like, so my friend Dawn, she lives up here. She was on she was my second podcast ever. She's a veteran, Iraq and Afghanistan war vet, and she drove her minivan or whatever she had. No veteran plates, no nothing. She parked in the veteran spot at Festival Foods up here in Appleton, and she had to take her daughter in to get some stuff and go to the bathroom. She comes out. There's a nasty letter on her windshield. Says, if you don't deserve to park here, you fucking shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. And she posted that on her Facebook, and it got thousands of comments and shares and everything. And Dawn is a veteran. So there was someone that saw her get out of a minivan, park in a veteran spot, and judge her solely on her sex.
Yeah.
But then, wait, these are the same people that we're supposed to come to if we need help, but you're judging people? What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So that's a hypocritical world that we live in. But yeah. I can go on my soapbox, gentlemen. You guys got to tell me to shut up.
Well, I pinned this back to the UFO stuff here real
Oh boy.
quick. Ray says UFOs are unidentified flying objects. That doesn't mean alien spaceships. I need a solid yes from this legendary guest. We may never get another chance to ask.
It's like, am I gonna get like Clinton side? Is that what he's afraid of? I don't know, man. Just
I don't.
carry some binoculars everywhere you go, I guess. I don't. I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, so I'm probably gonna lose a couple fans on that one. I don't have the brain pan to handle conspiracy theories. I just don't. I don't believe it. I don't. I don't want to argue about it. I don't. People. Some people think we didn't land on the moon. I think we did. To be honest with you, I think we have a space station up there. What else? Geez, what other conspiracy theories are there? Sasquatch. I think Sasquatch is real.
Yeah.
But that's it. And I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to argue. Let me believe in what I believe in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, but UFOs. I don't know. I think they could be out there. I don't know. That's not going to help that guy. He's not going to be able to sleep tonight and be like, this motherfucker. Did we lose Mike completely then?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
He said things were going in and out, so I'm guessing he just skipped off, and he'll probably listen to it later.
Sure. Very cool.
Okay, so I noticed one of your charities for, I think it was your archery event or something, was
Yes.
was it Valspar?
Yeah, close. Yeah, Vaspire 316. Vaspire
Okay.
316 was founded by Jacole Hall, the widow of Dominic Hall that I spoke about earlier. She started this nonprofit to raise money for service members and veterans that are battling cancer or illnesses due to toxic exposure. Because cancer testing and screening is, guess what? Not common practice in the VA. So
Right.
if a veteran goes to the VA to be test for cancer, they're going to be told no. So she decided to do this to help other people that are battling cancer because she lost her husband. And she just donated $10,000 to a local veteran up here, Keegan Murphy. Keegan beat stage 4 metastatic lung cancer.
Wow.
Wow.
It is so rare that they're presenting his case to like the National Cancer whatever. Like he went to MD Anderson down in Texas. It is the premier place to go for cancer treatment in the country. So yes, that's what she started. So
Yeah. Definitely. The first time I heard about that charity was when I was told about your archery event recently.
okay, sure.
So I was curious. I never heard about it before.
Yeah, no, we raise money. Where is the best place to get scan checked for chance or by chance? Is that what he says? Is that what he's trying to say?
I'm not sure.
Either for cancer or by chance. Yeah. For cancer. There he said.
For cancer. Unfortunately, Levi, I tried to get scanned, and the VA won't do it because it's an unnecessary risk to do a full body scan because that's radiation going into your body. That's the excuse they'll give you.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to go through a nonprofit. Hunter 7 is paying for scans. I think Vaspire is going to be paying for scans here too. They're going to have a partnership coming up, I think, with some hospital here in Wisconsin. I don't remember, and I don't know if it's public knowledge yet, so that's why I'm being careful not to share.
Okay.
So, what's going on here? Oh, there it is. Okay.
I have no clue. He's going off of his phone, and I know you can accidentally hit buttons.
Yeah.
If it was Jason, he might have ended our stream by now.
Yeah. Hey, now don't don't blame me. Mike ended one once too.
I don't know how long you guys go for, so if you guys got to cut it, you guys just let me know. So, I apologize if I've kept you guys too long.
No, this is right in about the range where we go. So
Cool. Yeah, I got a cool guest coming on tomorrow. Her name's Felicia. She does a lot of women hunts for just women in general getting into hunting, but she also takes female veterans out too, and she goes over to Africa a lot. She's not a vet, but she's really amazing, and she does a good job. She's quite the hunter. So I'm pumped to have her on the show tomorrow. What is it? Okay, cool. I'll shoot you.
Did I press something wrong?
No.
You just took over the whole screen with your black screen.
Sorry about that.
We regret to interrupt this podcast to get an 11th update. Is he at 3 11ths now, or you at 4 11ths?
We're at almost at 3 11ths. Almost there. About 10 more miles.
Hey, Michael, can you see the Northern Lights?
Can I see what?
The Northern Lights.
No.
No.
Yeah, Brad was asking.
I'll tell you what's funny. My wife was on Facebook, and a friend of ours had posted pictures of the sky. So my wife goes outside. Well, couldn't really see nothing, but she just took some pictures of the sky, and then it showed up on the phone. You couldn't see it with your eye, but the picture showed it. I don't understand it.
Weird.
It's funny. My girlfriend did the same thing as you guys were logging me on. She did the exact same thing, and it was on her phone, but she couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was strange.
Mike, Ray wants to know if there's any UFOs there.
Brad, I'm in the same state
Don't
as
give
you.
in.
No, Ray does.
Oh, Ray.
Smokey.
Oh.
20 Spray Ray wants to know if there's any UFOs there.
Don't give in. Don't give in. Don't give in. Don't give in. I want this guy squirming all night.
Well, he said he's going to lose sleep now. He's going to take Mike's method to stay awake and drink 8 coffees tonight. If he starts tweaking out, don't mind him.
This guy's going to watch Independence Day on repeat.
You can't get tired of Independence Day, though.
No, not one bit. Not one bit.
So does anyone in the chat have any questions for our guest?
Non-UFO related questions.
Yes. I think we spent enough time on UFOs.
Or anything that will get me whacked.
Well, if we're talking about UFOs, you don't want to talk about UFOs. We can talk about flat Earth.
Oh, boy.
I'd much rather talk about UFOs.
and how birds aren't real.
Jesus. Remember what I said about conspiracy theories?
Yeah. I think he missed that part.
I think he did.
I did. I missed that part. I love conspiracy theories. I don't believe them, but I just love them. I love just following them.
I don't.
Ray says
now-
if he's not back next week, we'll know why.
Now he's being dramatic. Maybe you shouldn't have asked. Maybe you shouldn't have asked me all those goddamn questions, Ray. Maybe I was texting my people.
There's this flat earther I follow on IG. He's got these craziest stories, and he makes all these displays and stuff like that. And his latest one was talking about, Hurricane Milton, how it was manufactured by a United Nations office in somewhere in South America. Or no, Australia. And yeah, it's hysterical. It's so funny.
Ray says we live in a dome. Oh. And Brad says to ask.
It's called the ozone layer, ain't it? So technically, we do live in a dome.
Brad wanted me to ask Brewer next time he has to unload some used coffee, put his phone camera on night mode. He should be able to see the northern lights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look.
Oh boy. Marble. It's pretty small.
Yeah, the big blue marble.
Nebraska's a large, long state.
Okay, Ryan. What is your favorite? I'm not going to say, war movie because that could entail a lot, but I'm going to say modern day, like war movie. Not like a World War II movie. I'm not even a Vietnam movie. I'm saying more like the Afghan and Fallujah and all that stuff. What would be your favorite?
Oh, man, there's a lot of good ones, man.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. I think the documentary Restrepo is probably arguably one of the greatest films ever made about modern warfare. And it depicts soldiers very vulnerably. There's no interviews with politicians or anything. It's straight, war footage and combat and death and destruction. And it was nominated for an Oscar, so it was pretty effing good. So if you've never seen the documentary Restrepo or the sequel, the follow-up called Korengal, I would recommend that. It's pretty effing good. So I bet you were expecting like a Hollywood movie.
Well, kinda. That yeah. Like I know it's been out for a while, but I just finally watched it, and I know it's not technically a war movie, but 13 hours.
Yeah, I had one of those guys on the podcast, Steve
Oh,
Coffrin. Yeah, he was actually one of the 13 horse soldiers. He works for Horse Soldier Bourbon. So Steve Coffrin was one of the horse soldiers, and if you ever research any of that, the horse soldier monument is right there by Ground Zero, in tribute of those guys. ODA 595. Yeah, no, 13. Yeah, 13 hour, 13. It's a great movie, absolutely great. I think the Benghazi movie, that was pretty powerful. What happened in Benghazi, I think that was pretty pretty effing powerful. And then Lone Survivor, can't argue Lone Survivor at all.
Yeah.
I haven't posted his episode, but I had a guy on. Tell Ryan he would fit in with construction speak. I don't know what that is. But I had a guy, and his name is Wayne. He was on the last diesel submarine.
Yeah,
World War
I saw that one.
And we were talking about our favorite sub movies, and my favorite sub movie of all time is The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hands down. I mean, the cast on that film is. You know what I mean? I mean, Sean Connery at his prime. Oh my goodness, you know. And so Hunt for Red October is up there, and then Crimson Tide is up there, and then just to mess with people's heads, I like to say Down Periscope. What is Brad trying to say, guys, in that comment?
Chris, who owns True North Beard Company, used to have a construction company and
very cool.
worked in construction for years. So
Very
they're
cool.
just saying you would fit in with. He does these little IG lives, and he's always talking about that kind of stuff.
What's that? What is he trying to talk about?
Construction, and he was a construction worker and owned a construction company for years.
Sure, I know nothing about construction, but I'll give it my best.
No, I think he's just saying you'd fit in with those guys.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I appreciate the compliment, Brad. Thanks, buddy. Not bad. Not bad at all.
You ever see the movie Greyhound?
Yes, I own it.
Yeah, that one I thought was pretty good.
It's very good. It's very good. Midway was even better, I thought.
Yeah.
And then I have Apple TV, so I watched Masters of the Air, and Masters of the Air is probably one of the best series I've ever it's up there with Band of Brothers. Level. I don't know if you've ever I don't know if you've got a chance to watch Masters of the Air.
No, I've seen a couple episodes, but I haven't finished it.
I think it's pretty effing good.
Yeah, that's when I gotta finish.
Jerry.
Oh boy. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get on the Bearded Respect.
Well, I'll just let you guys know that I curb myself quite frequently because when I'm not public speaking, yeah, I got, what do they say, talk like a sailor? Sailors. Yeah. Yeah, at work, that's about every other word.
You're like a naughty Santa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like what are those movies? Bad Santa?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To answer Brad's question, I have not seen Das Boot. I don't even know what that is.
I think that was a submarine. I think that was a submarine movie.
That might be. I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it.
Oh, Amber.
Every time
that makes me proud. That makes me proud.
That makes me proud.
Only thing, every time I hear Das Boot, I think of what was that movie? Beer World, and they bring out Das Boot. Yeah, drink beer from Das Boot.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
It's all the guys from Super Troopers.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
What's that movie called?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing Das Boot. That's all I got.
It's a German U-boat. It's in subtitles.
Yeah.
I fucking hate subtitles.
So do I. Oh, what irritates me, of course, your kids are younger, but every time, I mean, all my kids, they got their own TVs, okay, so they watch their own TVs, but once in a while, the two younger ones, and well, even the 130-year-old, she lived in New York for a while, almost 10 years, and she moved back home, so she's with us yet, but uh, they watch movies and shows and stuff with the closed captions on. And it drives me nuts if I go to start watching a show and they got it turned on. I'm like, why do you got well and the thing is I should watch it with it on, but I was always a slow reader. So if I gotta read damn closed captions, I gotta pause the damn thing so I can read the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, it just drives me nuts. But I am hard of hearing, so I should turn them on, but because I'm rewinding anyway, so I can hear what they said. But yeah, them kids, they drive me nuts with that stupid closed caption stuff. I'm like, you're not deaf.
I drive my
Why you
girlfriend
got
crazy. I have to have the TV pretty loud.
me too, and it drives my wife crazy. It's giving me a headache. I said, well, I can't hear it.
Well,
Or
you
she'll
want
be
noise
up
like that?
here. I'm upstairs, and I'll be watching TV downstairs, and she'll text me, "Can you turn that down?" I might as well
Yeah.
turn it off and go to bed.
She'll ask me what number the TV's.
Yeah.
If I have tinnitus, you have tinnitus.
Mhm. Not for you, Ray. Not for you.
Oh boy.
Ray's on a tear tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a couple others said beer fest. Yeah. Beer fest.
I'm pretty sure it's Beer Fest.
Yeah. Me, Kevin. Yeah. I'm 54. I'm from the old school of the F bomb.
The heck's a Wyoming speed goat?
It's an antelope. They call antelope speed goats because they're
Oh.
in the goat kingdom.
Oh.
You know, there's different
Yeah.
levels of So
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
they call them speed goats because they're the fastest land animal in the U.S. So antelopes have two speeds. They have their normal run, and then they have afterburner. And if you've ever seen an antelope run afterburner, it'll blow your mind away. Be like, holy shit! Like, they're not faster than a cheetah, but they can outlast a cheetah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but to answer Brad's question, yeah, Brad, I got a nice trophy antelope there with curled horns and ivory tips. Ivory tips is kind of like the key you look for trophy antelope.
I'm not that old.
I mean, if I met you in public, I would probably, I'd ask you, the first question I ask you, did you fight for the North or South? That'd probably be.
Come on now. I tell you one thing that made me mad is my older brother. I'd posted a picture on Facebook of me on the tractor with my grandson, and he was sleeping. And my sister-in-law commented that I look older than my brother, and my brother is seven or 8 years older than me. And then shortly after that, we'd all went out to dinner, and his stepdaughter was there, and I asked her. I said, if you seen the two of us, who would you think was older? And she said me. I said, okay. But that's because I got the big white beard, and he don't.
Yeah.
But I think he looks older. If you look at his face, if you could see both of our faces, you'd think he'd older.
You get a senior discount when you go to dinner?
Not yet, but I was reminded because in December I'll be 55, so I was reminded that I get the 55 discount.
I would just start asking for it now. Get a head start.
I probably could.
I see the white beard. They're not going to ask a question.
That's true. Yeah, I always thought that the senior discount was 65, but yeah, it is 55. No, not as bad as Keith Richards, man. Oh, Brad said they can run 55 mile an hour.
I think that's about right. But I mean,
Yeah.
they have the lung capacity to outlast a cheetah. It's a difference. It's like a marathon runner and a sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but you can get within 100 yards, and then they'll take off, and then they'll turn around, and they always turn broadside to look at you. And if you look at an antelope, they have this tan and white, and then you just follow that tan and white, and you put the bullet right in the corner of the white and tan. That's where you want to aim. I dropped that one at 262 yards from the roof of a truck. So,
Jeez.
super jacked in caffeine. Not a good idea.
Yep. Yeah, a couple months I'll be the double nickel, but and Ray, he's pretty thin on top. He still has hair, but and he'll do a little stubble once in a while, but he won't grow a beard because it's gray. And I said, so what? So what?
Kev says his goal is to see at what age he can get the senior discount.
Yeah, I suppose I should start trying. Are they really going to card me?
I doubt it.
I do have an AARP card already. Oh, what the hell? Somebody, did you hear that?
I heard something.
Somebody just slammed the door.
The UFO come through?
You got some G-Men in your house right now, big dog.
Well, Clementine was down there barking, so I don't know if she made somebody mad or not.
Probably. Dog's pretty quiet now.
Yeah. They bark at nothing. You know what dogs are like. They bark at nothing all the time. That's very true.
It's like half a compliment. That's fine. I mean, I might have short hair here, but down there, that's for you, Ray. I'll show you my Area 51, Ray. Area 51 is real.
Jason, they say you got men in black in your house.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on down there. I'm sure I'll find out.
Oh.
The thing is, sometimes when the kids come home, they'll pull in and they'll sit out in the car doing who knows what for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes before they come in. But the whole time the dogs know they're out there, so the dogs are barking at them, but yet they sit out there. Why not pull in and get in the house so they'll shut up? Especially at 11:30 at night when my wife's in bed.
Maybe they do that on purpose.
Yeah. But Ryan, you can leave that for the OnlyFans. Send the link.
I was unemployed for a while. Let me tell you, I was thinking about every avenue to make money. So
Hmm. I don't have muck boots. I got my steel toes. I have to put my steel toes on.
Sure, those work just as good.
Yeah.
But I think everyone, we're going to wind down the show.
Yeah.
Want to thank Ryan for coming on and being a great guest. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I greatly appreciate Scott, Jason, and Mike. By the time he sees this, he'll probably be at 6/11 when he sees this. If we're lucky, if we're all lucky, we're gonna get an update. But I appreciate you, all three of you, and all the people that were commenting and stuff like that. And if I just challenge everybody just to set the example for others to follow and help out when you can, and just be a good person, I guess. That's all I can.
Yeah,
give
it
everybody.
was great having you on. It was great hearing your stories and what you stand for and how you're giving back and helping everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I know a lot of people. Doesn't mean I like them. So, but thank you, Amber. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think she shared some stuff today too, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Woodworking, great show, great to see. Oh, okay.
Kevin and Amber are husband and wife.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for the.
Oh yeah, it'll soon be No Shave November. So,
But it's No Shave November doesn't specify what part of my body.
Oh.
see, last year I did No Shave November for my head,
Sure.
since there's obviously I'm not going to shave anyway. So,
Right. Yep. I don't know. I don't really participate in that shit. So, my daughter hates when I don't shave. So I'll go pick her up at school or whatever, and I'll have facial hair, and she's just like, "You need to cut that." And be like, "All right, sorry." So I hope Ryan likes me now.
He told you to come back.
yeah.
I'll come back if I'm invited. Yep. Do I like Ray though? I mean, maybe. Stop asking me questions I can get killed for.
Oh.
Since about 4th grade. Never do.
Oh.
You guys are getting banned. Whoa. I'm not participating in that. Your husband's on here. We're gonna get shot. This is an interesting way to interact with your viewers. I've never done it this way before. It's usually just host and guest, right?
Yeah.
But having live interaction with your people.
Well, yeah, it makes the show interesting, and that's kind of why we try to go unscripted for most of our show.
Yeah.
And just let it go wherever it goes.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It I think it's interesting. Really quick, I know you guys want to go, and so do I. I do have to go to bed here, and I have a long day ahead of me. But I will say though, it's like when you first start podcasting, and you guys are 100. I'm like what 142 on your guests.
Yep.
I notice. You know, when you first start off, there's like this subtle, subliminal, like all other podcasters are competition. And I thought that for a little while, but then I
Mhm.
realized that they're not. They're just actually just people that you could lean on, and you'd be like, hey, I'm having this issue, and like all the equipment I have, I bought from another guy that got out of podcasting, and he showed me about sound compression and quality of sound and good equipment and all this other stuff. And I just kind of researched it myself, and it's cool to see other podcasters interviewing other podcasters
Oh
and
yeah.
showing the space is not like competition. Like
Right.
look at Joe Rogan. I love Rogan. Love Rogan. Not all his guests. Some of his guests
Right.
are, what I mean? But he brings on other podcast hosts. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the hell out of this, guys. Thanks so much. This was totally fun. So thank you.
Oh, if you want to check out a good veteran podcast, check out 1 Mile 1 Veteran.
Okay. All right.
We've had him on the show twice.
Very cool. Cool.
He's got a pretty cool thing going.
1 Mile 1 Veteran.
Mike dropping off was definitely scripted. Oh.
No, I think the UFOs got him because he didn't shave his fucking crotch.
Oh. Okay, guys. We will catch you next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for another great stream where we have a Tactical Santa on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, respect the journey, y'all.
Good night, everybody. Have a good Friday.
Thank you.